Hey guys, so I have a video to share today. It is a card I made and I have some thoughts on some things that people have asked about, and so I'm going to title this video Just My Thoughts and a project share. So the first thing is I did make this card. This card is for my mother's friend. It's his birthday, and it had to be very, I don't know, appropriate. Appropriate is the word I was trying to come up with when I was thinking, what kind of card do you make for a Catholic priest? I don't have any stamps myself that are religious, so because it's not my thing. But then when you have to go make a card for somebody, and it's a birthday card actually, what do you do? So I've been trying to think of ways or stamps that I could use that would be appropriate. So this is the card I came up with for him, and this is using the new stamp set from Paper Tray Inc. called Mountain Majesty. It is a layering stamp set, so I've used my tonic platform to do this, just because I wanted to play with it more. So this is the stamp set that I used for the outside. The actual sentiment comes from a different set, and that is County Fair, also from Paper Tray Inc. This one right here. I don't think this one's available anymore, but one of the stamps in this set says life is beautiful. Yep, it's right here. So that's what I used for the outside. I also used the mix and matte dies that somebody had asked me about. They wanted to see it actually cut out. So if you look at this postage and the little diagonal lines, that is 2 of the 3 dies that are included. And so Paper Tray Inc. has been doing these mix and matte die sets for this year, and let's see if I can show it to you. Let's just do it like this. Here's the die set that I used. These 2 are still held together. I can snip them apart, and then if I want to use it on my magnetic platform to hold it in place, I can do that. This is the 3rd die that comes with it. And so what they've been doing is creating these sets of dies that you can mix and match. So there's one. Here's another one I haven't yet used. It's a little bit similar because there are smaller chevrons in here. Well, chevron-like shapes because they're not connected. But you can cut these apart and use these as mats. And that's what I did. I've used the 2 that are still held together. And then for the scene, of course, this is the layered image here. I did the sky using my ink blending tools. And I used these inks here from Altenew and Gina K to do all the different colors that you see on the card. So I don't have all of the Paper Tray ink cubes, and I don't plan on buying any more just because I prefer other brands, and so I'm going to stick with these instead of buying any more of the Paper Tray Ink ones. I just think I get a better result. So this sky was done with these inks here as well as the mountains, and then I embossed in gold the sentiment and the stars, and the stars come from a different Paper Tray Ink stamp set, which I don't know if I have that out still. It's a larger star. Here it is. Celestial Sky Background Basics, and I used this band right here in the middle that has a sparser looking stars so it wouldn't cover my whole card. And so that's what I used there. And the inside is, oh, and this outside dotted die is from Waffle Flower. Here's the set that I got. The largest die in the set doesn't actually cut the rectangle out, it just makes the holes all the way around an A2 size card. So that's what that die is. And then on the inside, I've used a Mama Elephant stamp set called Wishing You. It's right here. Wishing you a happy birthday and many more to come. Again, this is embossed in gold embossing powder. And I use a detail one from Simon Says Stamp. I've just cut apart the label and stuck it to my container here because I poured it out. Okay, so that's the card that I made. So some thoughts. that I wanted to share with you. Somebody had asked about the Concord 9th die. So this is the die called Hooray Ribbons. It's new, and I just cut out the bigger die from the other other pieces here. There's several pieces, so I could put it together for you guys. And so what it does is it makes this sort of up and down ribbon here. You can see it's got the crease lines in it. It cuts a big circle, and then when you crease it, it makes that circle smaller. So it's, you know, nowhere near the size of the die when you first cut the ribbon out. That's the finished size, and there's the die right behind it. So once you folded it up, you have this open area. And what I did was used another die, a circle die that had scallops on it, and cut that from the same paper, as opposed to using the circle here because I didn't disconnect it. I wanted something a little bit different, so rather than going with plain edges, I went with the scallop edges, and that's just another circle die that I have. And just glued it around the edges, because as you can see, it's open in the middle, and you can have it go this way or this way. And I've seen it where they've made flowers out of this. They folded it differently instead of the back to front sort of motion that you do when you put it together. So this is the end result of the die, and you can see how big it is in my hand once it's put together. So there's that. The other thing I wanted to kind of share with you all is my experience so far with the platform, the Tim Holtz platform. Somebody had asked about tailored expression stamps. Now, I tried 3 different brands of stamps. This is a Stamping Bella rubber stamp. This is a Tim Holtz rubber stamp, and that's a Tailored Expressions rubber stamp. And somebody had asked me about when you place your stamp in the upper corner, that the lid doesn't close fully. You are right about that. When you put it on the rubber setting, in other words, your plate is set to rubber, and you put your stamp in this upper right hand corner, it does not rest flat. And it's still okay. You don't have any problems with the image. You can see these are all images used with different manufacturers' rubber stamps in the upper corner here, the left hand corner. If you want it to lie flatter, just put it down here at the bottom. That will solve your issues. You will get the same image quality. So that's my thoughts on that. One thing I did notice is that, okay, so when I was going to test that, I had already set up my platform for the layered hummingbird, and you can see the hummingbird right here. This is a Papertrey Ink Humming Along stamp set, and I had set it up to be able to stamp all the layers without having to reposition the stamps. So they're set up on my, you can see it, they're set up on my stamp platform on the clear side. And when I went to go do this experiment for somebody, because they had made the comment, I just switched it over to rubber, and I didn't have to take any of my stamps off. You can't do that with the MISTI because you're not able to switch the sides. So I didn't have to remove all of my stamps from the clear side in order to use it for the rubber. So that was a nice thing, because sometimes you will make a card and you'll use a mix of stamps. Like, you don't always use the sentiment stamp from that set. You may use one from a different set, and sometimes it's a rubber set. So what I noticed was you have the advantage of using both without having to remove them all. So my not my MISTI, but my Tim Holtz stamp press is still set up for me to use it with the clear stamps, but I can still also use it for the rubber stamps if I turn it around to the other side. That was kind of a nice surprise. I hadn't thought about doing that when I was playing around. And you guys can see I've added that giant post-it note, because what I've also found out is that if you position all of your stamps onto the block, you know, onto the lid, and you are using it, the way the background, this backing is it really is sticky for your stamps. So when I was going through this process of putting the cardstock in, stamping the image down, moving to the next image, which would have been this one, this particular one makes the lid stick. So to make it a little bit easier for me to use, having a piece of paper like this will keep your stamps from sticking to that background sheet here. It also helps with cleanup. But that's the nice thing about being able to have that piece of paper back there. You can set up everything on the one because of the size. You know, this is an 8x8 platform. So you can set up a lot of your layering stamps so that you can just keep on stamping and not have to position every time. And then just turn your paper. I hope that makes sense. And then, of course, if you have your stamps out like this, you can just put a piece of paper behind it, and it will make it a little bit easier to work with because your stamp will not stick to the back, to the base here. So that's another thing that I found out. I think that is all I wanted to share. And if I think of something else, I will come back. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.